Waiting for Shelley Zimmerman to talk about Monday's incident. That news conference set to begin in about 20 minutes. Also today, investigators released a police report, and here's what it says about the iPad. Quote, she then stated that he began to smash it over his knee, took out his pocket knife, and began to cut the iPad open. She stated this made her mad because the iPad contained all the video and pictures of this event. So just what did she record? Well, we're not going to know for some time because investigators say it's going to take weeks, maybe even months to get that video off of that iPad. They got to get special tools to try to get what they can from it, which means that any possible charges are on hold for now. Got to bring in criminal defense attorney Janet Johnson on this, all over this case. All right, Janet, I've been reading this police report, and they talked to George Zimmerman at one point. And I just want to state this for you. They say that he is there taking pictures of things that they were taking out of the house because they had an agreement about what she could keep and what he could keep. I guess he felt she was taking things she was not allowed to. And so an argument ensues, and he tells police that David, her father, comes at him, attacks him before, first he throws down his glasses, comes at George Zimmerman and attacks him. I know a lot of people are going to hear that and say, wait, it's a George Zimmerman, somebody's attacking me story again. But I ask because of this. They're trying to get the video. They may not be able to get the video. If they can't get it, how do they determine who to believe here, George Zimmerman or Shelley and her father?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, Ryan, because one of the reasons why he may be breaking the iPad is because he's conscious that he's guilty. So I don't think that the iPad's that smoking an iPad because, quite frankly, the fact that he broke it in response to her taking pictures is evidence that he knew it would incriminate him. So I think that's the tiebreaker. You have two witnesses. Yes, there's a divorce, and she is recanting, but her original statement is the one that's going to be viewed as trustworthy. And she said not only was he flashing a gun and threatening her, but at a minimum, he committed a battery against her dad and maybe even an aggravated battery because his nose may have been broken. Those three things, the broken iPad, her word at the scene, and her dad, and maybe even his medical evidence, that would be enough, I think, to charge him.
Yeah, but a complicating factor here is that she and her father didn't want to say a whole lot to police. She'll be talking, though, in about 15 minutes to the media. But then here's the other factor, Janet. Shelley Zimmerman is on probation for 1 year for perjury. So how could this investigation impact her negatively?
You know, I don't think it could. And a lot of people are saying, well, who believes her? She has a perjury charge. She was not convicted. In Florida, there's something called a withhold of adjudication, so that could not be used against her. It's not a conviction.
What if she's seen to be the aggressor?
Well, then if she gets arrested, that would be problematic. She can have no new law violations. I don't have any information that Mr. Zimmerman's going to try to prosecute her, but this is a divorce. And I think any probation officer, any court is going to consider what these people do isn't really probably typical of their behavior. Although, again, with Mr. Zimmerman, like you said, this is the second time he's accused of coming at somebody. He does have a little bit of a pattern that's forming, I think.
Okay, and some people, when I look at social media, they've been saying, well, if this happened to anybody else, there was a domestic dispute, someone said, hey, I think that person has a gun. I know police say they talked to witnesses on the scene. Zimmerman didn't have a gun on him, but they decided not to check the car because they talked to the witnesses and felt like they didn't need to, didn't have probable cause. But what do you make of how this is being investigated so far? Do you think police should have gone into the car, tried to get a search warrant, searched the car and dug further, or did they do what they needed to do?
Well, it's interesting because it comes on the heels of one of the witnesses in the Zimmerman trial saying that the Sanford police may have bent over backwards to help Mr. Zimmerman, even at trial. So this does look a little suspicious. And quite frankly, if it was my client, I have to think at a minimum he would have been arrested for a domestic battery because at the time that this happened, she said that he hit her, pushed her, hit the father. So I think at a minimum they would have arrested a normal person. I mean, I have to say it does look suspicious. And, you know, it's the state of Florida versus George Zimmerman. It's not Shelley Zimmerman or her dad. So she can't drop charges. She can't press charges. The state of Florida, that's who does it. And quite frankly, her word or her going back on her word, that shouldn't affect it. And I'm a little surprised that they didn't search the car and they didn't arrest him at a minimum on a misdemeanor battery.
Very interesting, Janet. Okay, stick around. We got more questions for you, especially as we're waiting for Shelley Zimmerman to address the media in about 12, 13 minutes. Thanks, Janet.